We're still working on section 2.1, solving simple equations, and we are going to be working example number 3. Example number 3 has to do with voltage drop in an electrical wire. And what that means is when you plug something into an outlet and you get a lot of electricity out of it, by the time it gets to the very end, by the time it gets to your destination, that voltage has decreased. And if your extension wire is really, really long, well, you're going to have a lot more decrease than if it's just a short little wire. And that's what this is all about. And the amount of voltage that it drops is not only dependent upon how long the wire is, but also what the gauge of the wire is. So if you have a real heavy-duty extension cord, you're not going to have as much of a drop. So it says use the table to determine the length of an electrical cord that will have a voltage drop of 9 volts in a number 12 gauge electrical cord attached to a heater that draws that many amps of current, and round your answer to the nearest foot. Okay, so we're ready to go. We're going to be using this formula. Voltage is equal to 2 times the length times the current times the resistance. We know about resistance. We had an activity on that, divided by 1,000. So over here, we're going to go ahead and plug in the values and solve, and then maybe we'll do it another way. So we are going for, what are we going for? We're going for, use the table to determine the length. Okay, so we're going for length. So we know the voltage in the problem. It says it's 9 volts is equal to 2 times L times I. What's I? I is the current. How much current in here? 18 amps of current. 18 times R. And what's R? R is the resistance. Well, it doesn't really tell me resistance down here, but it does tell me the gauge, and I'm going to use the gauge to look up the resistance. So I got number 12. So the resistance is 1.932. 1.932. And Kathy, why'd you wrap that in parentheses? Well, because I got a decimal here and a multiplication sign here, and I want you to be able to tell the difference. 1,000. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is, you know how I'm not a real big fan of fractions. They don't scare me, but if I had the choice, I'm going to get rid of them. So I'm going to make him go away, and I'm going to multiply both sides by 1,000. And because that's a nice little number, I'm going to do this in my head. 9 times 1,000 is 9,000. And all of this times 1,000 makes those 1,000s drop out, and I end up with 2 times L times 18 times 1.932. Okay, now again, I'm after L. He's in the way, and he's in the way. So to get rid of him, I'm going to go ahead and divide the whole thing, each side, by this and this and this. Well, here we go. 2 times 18 times 1.932. And I'm going to do exactly the same thing over here. 2 times 18 times 1.932. So, Kathy, how come sometimes you show it and sometimes you don't? I don't know. It's kind of whatever seems to work. So these guys are gone, gone, gone. And I'm left with just L. I like that. And I'm going to put them on the left side. So now all I have to do is put this in my calculator and let it do its job. So I have 9,000 divided by parentheses. Don't forget those parentheses. Critical here. Parentheses. 2 times 18 times 1.932. Close parentheses. And I get 129.3995. Now let's go back and read the directions. It says round the answer to the nearest foot. Okay, I can do that. So that's going to be 129 feet. 129 feet. Okay, I'm going to quickly do this one other way, and then we're going to probably stop doing it 2 different ways. So I'm going to start with the formula. Because I'm looking for length, I'm going to isolate the L. Multiply both sides by 1,000, just like we did before. Divide both sides by 2, I, and R. If I divide it by 2, I, and R, they're gone over here, leaving me with just L. But I have to divide them on this side. 2, I, and R. And now I'm ready to substitute in my values. My voltage was 9. My current was 18. And my resistance was 1.932. Well, looky here. It's going to give me the same thing. And all of this is, this guy over here, look at this. All of this matches exactly what I have here. So I better come out with the same answer. 129.3995 and round it off. And there you go. So, which one did you like better? A or B? I like B.